How you guys doing? Well, we reached 50 subscribers, so now we're going live, and I just want to be answering to some of the. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody who's been subscribed to my channel. I feel, you know, grateful and I appreciate you guys you having, some ears, listening to my stories and what I have to say, regardless if you guys agree or not. I think we're in a world where there's people who agree, people who disagree, right? This is what makes us to engage in people's lives. And this is how we grow as an individual, as a team, and as a community and country, right? And I think one of the comments that I've been reading is like people disagree a lot of times. Like first of all, if why people are protesting or why people are going crazy and acting how they're acting right now. And I had a comment where someone said and that people are being paid by this corporation, by this company, by this entity, and I I do believe it, right? I like you guys know I've been incarcerated for 9 years in a federal prison in America, and I know I know where corruption can get so far. I met people in real life from different backgrounds, religion, continents, countries. So uh, when we're incarcerated, we're on the same, actually, we can say the same team, right? We're all in khakis or orange. So we share stories because nothing holds you back because a lot of people are resentful with the system. So they just like share their secrets, especially if they're like extradited from another country and there were politicians. So they share stories that sometimes they're unbelievable. But now when I hear comments, specifics like these ones, I'm like, okay, it might be true. It is true, right? So there's no reason for being lying to it. And but other than that, uh, I've talked a lot of in my videos about the law of attraction, how the people who have come up with the title, the law of attraction, it's very compelling. It's very like persuasive to hear about because they promise you to change your reality and be honest with ourselves, right? Like we have to be honest, like we all fall for it. And sometimes we just like, hey, hi, how you guys doing? Thank you. Thank you guys for your support. And so I do understand why some people feel some type of way when I talk of the law of attraction. I'm not hating because I tried it honestly. Like I had a genuine feeling and a genuine like plan of steps. I read books and it didn't work. And I said, okay, I need to try it again, right? Because I don't want to give up just like in the first try. So I started like doing again and again, and nothing happened. But the only thing that happened is that I will feel happy though. Like my mood will change. And this is what gets people hooked in the law of attraction. Like it changes your mood, right? But then you realize like you can change your own mood, right? Like you can tell yourself like everything's okay, then you change your mood. But because we're built for connection, we want to be listening to other people or reading other people. And this is what I learned while being incarcerated that makes it not fun, because that's not the word, but it makes it like worth enjoying it while you're there because there's no way you're going to go out until you finish your time. So you're like, might as well, like, I'm going to start paying attention to people's beliefs, people's opinions, right? And I will, it was mind blowing to sometimes to accept that I'm like, man, I was judging a lot. But judging is not wrong because this is a tool we're born with. Okay. So like, oh, you're judging too much. Okay. You might be judging too much, but that doesn't mean that judging itself is wrong. It's not. It's a tool you are born with. Just like when you're a baby, you have no teeth and then you're growing teeth. So you can eat and bite and eat protein. And then, like, there's nothing wrong with the teeth, right? It's not that it just comes with it. Okay. So that's the same. And it was, like I said, mind blowing. And like I just, got tired of this positive thinking because it made me like, at first it feels good, like I said, and it just changes your mood, and that's good though. But then it's just like a band-aid in the short term. So I wanted something in the long term because I was doing like a decade. I was gonna do 9 years, 10 years. So I'm like, I need something that's gonna keep me alive, but not only alive, surviving. I keep me healthy and sane, right? And intelligent. So I start scrutinizing everything, and then I realized that it was a business just like everything else, right? And I cannot get mad at them because at the end of the day, whatever you choose to follow, it's your own responsibility. You are accountable for whatever you want to believe or follow. You know, unless you're a baby. But if you're not, you're an adult. You just, regardless of, well, I didn't know. Okay, you didn't know, but that doesn't justify the consequences. Justify that you chose, you made the decision that you wanted to follow this. So I don't want this no more. Okay, good. So then you choose again, right? So consequences is just a daily thing. Okay, consequences are not negative or positive. It's just the result of every decision that you made on a daily basis, and it shouldn't be judged like right or wrong, right? But at the end of the day, everybody has their own opinion about that. But uh, what else should be answering? I I've been having a lot of love from you guys. I'm not gonna lie, but a lot of disagreement. Okay, so there was this guy that when I was talking about uniforms, right? That whoever it is that I was instilling fear on my son. I think I wasn't telling him to run away from anybody who has a uniform. I was just telling him when you see a uniform, I mean, unless you're wearing a uniform, then you guys are on the same team. But if you're not wearing a uniform and he's wearing a uniform, it's obvious that our reaction is going to be like, hold it, right? I see a lot of medals on his chest, or he has a bright color, or it's just something with his apparel, his clothes, right? That shouldn't be something bad. It's just an observation. Like that means you're aware of what's going on, you know. And so when it comes to uniforms, there's a lot of things that we don't know, and it's okay. We're not here in this planet to know everything. We're not. Okay, we're not. And but to tell you that we're here to not know nothing, that's a lie. That's just like uh, death. Like I should be dead then. You know, if I'm here not to know nothing, then I mean, what am I doing here? So we have a place, right, in this specific time in history, right? We have a place, and don't doubt yourself. That like, no, not me. Yes, you too. Okay, regardless how weird you are or how awkward you think you can be, it's not true. It's just like you haven't got the opportunity to, first of all, to recognize yourself that you're unique, and automatically by default, you are already of value. Okay, you don't have to earn nothing to have value, right? You don't have to say or to jump or to dance or to clap. You already, by being alive, you are already putting something into the world. You haven't known what exactly it is, but people like me and other people come along the way can give you that little push that you need to tell you, you know what, bro, it's not that bad as you think. You know, you think you're weird, but that weirdness is good for this. But you're focusing on this. Okay. That's what I've learned. Like, it's just like exercising. Like people like I've been exercising for a whole year and I haven't gained nothing. Yeah, because you haven't studied your genes, your DNA structure, right? Because we've been listening to the wrong people. And then they want to accuse you you're racist, you know, you're feminist. And here we go again, the same song over and over. Same song. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I like a song and I put it on replay the whole day. But yeah, so that will be the answer for the uniforms. I'm just trying to teach my children to be aware that you just cannot just go and be friendly to anybody, not because you're scared, it's because in the court of law, and you're going to say, well, that's when you break the law. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. If you're living in America or in any democratic state where there's a president and there's a constitution, there's laws. That's why there's called the international law. Okay, so you need to be aware where people are wearing certain type of uniforms and they're behaving in a certain type of way. It's not that you're being scared. You're just being aware. Like, okay, hold on. Like like you trying to speak to me comfortably, like we're friends, but I don't know you. Okay, and it doesn't mean like guy without uniform is gonna be your friend. I'm not saying that either, right? But like I said, my videos, short videos, is just, you only have 3 minutes, right? So sometimes you have to emphasize everything in 3 minutes, and it's not fair. Let's be honest, it's not fair because we all have questions. We all have questions, and we have to. Okay, yeah. Here's my buddy coming. Here's my son coming, and my partner. So they took a shower, so they're gonna come downstairs. Right? It's okay. You guys can come. You guys are good. All right. So I know it's dark. I promise you guys, I'll have some lights on next time. But like yeah. So I was saying, so it's nothing wrong to be aware and sometimes be silent when you have to be silent. It has nothing to do with fear, but I understand people come from different beliefs and backgrounds and ages, and whatever happened at their time, that's what they remember, right? And what I've learned about the past. So you learn from the past, right? But that's vague. Sometimes you have to not let go of the past, but sometimes allow the past to be the past. But let's say, okay, I'm just being vague. Okay, let's say my grandfather, he told me, do you have a horse? I'm like, what? A horse? No. I don't think they allow that in Chicago, Illinois to ride a horse without a permit. But he thought we were in Mexico, right? He thought we were like in his country. So it's not that he's wrong, but he's thinking that the same laws that they exist when he was in his 20s, 30s, they still are the same. And this is where I'm trying to tell like people in my channels. Sorry guys for making the camera dizzy, but this is what I'm trying to tell. like my audience that it, it's nothing wrong with the past or with history, but sometimes I don't like to mention the word evolution because it's just like it sends you back to the programming of the government about dinosaurs and the monkey and we all came from Homo sapiens and all that garbage, and I don't believe in all that. I don't. I actually believe in technology has existed always. That's just me, right? You guys gonna ask me prove it? I cannot prove it. I can just share it. I can just like open my mouth and just have my opinion about it. That I believe that technology it's been around all this time. There's nothing new about it. But yeah. So I answered the uniform thing. So now, what other question, guys? Let's see. I don't know. Like, what's your favorite thing to do? What's your favorite thing to do? I like to read. I like to. Well, my favorite thing to do. You're talking about singular, right? Honestly, I like to fucking sorry. I like to just give my opinion about things, you know? I'm very self-opinionated guy. I like to give my opinion about stuff. There you go, you know? And other than that, how you doing, Adriana? Hi. And I like to work out. I do. And I like to do weights, play soccer, boxing. I like to coach people to be in better shape, you know, because if we're in better shape physically and mentally, we can operate better in the world, right? But yeah, so basically that this is my first video live, and I honestly I'm enjoying it, you know, and thank you guys for your support, and I what else I want to talk on have some answers for some other people too, right? Say Marisa, you're the best. Thank you. Chris, Bryce said hi, what's up? Yeah, and I want to talk about other things that I've been talking on my videos. Right. Okay. I'm gonna talk about female male, right? About relationships. About we've been we've been told that love yourself first, and you don't need nobody. But that's not how it goes, though. I really disagree with a lot of pickup artists in this red pill community about like you you have to hate women because of the way they are. I mean, at the end of the day, in my own experience and opinion, women are the result of men, right? And I know, man. Like, what's men? Right? You were born male or female, but you become a man based on age and experience, training your body, and strength, right? Resilience. So I believe that we have a big problem in society. Uh, and it's not politics. It's not politics. I know. And I'm into politics. I did 9 years in prison. You guys already know. So I'm into politics. I've met a lot of politicians. But I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is woman. Woman is not the problem, but there's an issue with how women are behaving, right? And I have to go back 20, 30 years ago. Okay. This trending garbage BBLs with all these women are just mutilating themselves and putting, asses and tits and duck lips and all that stuff, right? And first of all, 20, 30, 40 years ago, they were not, they could not afford to pay that. So who was paying for that? Men. Uh-huh. Men were paying for that. I do remember. I was in my 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. Men were paying for that. Hmm. They were. So, like I said, BBLs. Now, this time, okay. Now women are working. They have their profession. They have their careers. And they're paying for that. So they don't have to rely on a man like, well, I'm getting ass. I'm getting some tits. I'm getting that. Okay. So these women, you need to realize that they're not comfortable in their own body, right? So now we have solved one issue. We have recognized that women are not being comfortable on their own body. Why? Why? Right? And I don't know exactly why, but I can have an educated guess. That is because Hollywood or the red carpet, okay, the Grammys, the Billboard, all these celebrities coming out looking like, right, like they're perfect. There's no defect on it, huh? But once you take the dress off, there's everything wrong with them, right? So, so I think this is where it stems from, and I think it's more psychological, right? But as a man, if your woman is telling you, you know what, I don't think I look good enough, your response should be short and say, I believe you're enough. And if you decide to put some makeup, that's just adding beauty to you. But I get you, woman. If your guy is not responding like that, like, okay, then I'm gonna look for another guy. And sometimes, like when I was incarcerated, when I was in the visiting room, I used to see, not because I was being nosy, it's because we're on the same room. What am I supposed to do? Just cover my ears? I'm not gonna do that. So I'm listening to everything because we're all in the same room. So there was a lot of women that would just hear their conversation, and the men, they're just lame, phony. I'm like, oh man, like no wonder why there's so much lesbians, right? It's man's fault, and nobody's gonna make me change my mind. I'm not. It's man's fault. It's man's fault, right? Not if the woman decides to leave you or like have an affair. That's not your fault. That's just being a woman. That's how they are. But I'm telling you, when they decide, when they're talking to you and you're just not picking up on their signs and you just like decide to just give up and do your thing. So I don't know. It's I'm not a master at this, but I know that uh woman, it's one of the big issues in America and our country. And I think that any man then goes after BBLs or allows their girl, their wife to go BBL, he doesn't deserve to be called man. He actually he should get another birth certificate and put a female on it, right? That's my opinion. And other than that, what else should I be talking about? Mm, mm, God, immigration. So I don't know how to say it. And so God, see, since I was little, I I was a little kid, 5, 6 years old. It was something that bothered me to be on my knees. It's just something that I cannot explain. Truth cannot be explained. It can only be known. You can only know the truth. So how do you do that, Alex? You need to know it. You just know. Okay? You just know. That's all. I can put you an example though. When you eat, right? A few hours later or days after you eat, you feel this like you want to go take a dump, right? Okay. So can you explain how it feels? You can't. Let's be honest. You can't. You just know like I need to go to the bathroom, right? I'm gonna take a big one. Okay. Boom. There it is. So that's the same thing. Truth, it's the same. Okay. You cannot explain it. You just know it's gonna happen or it's happening. So with God, I never agree with being on my knees. I think it was degrading. It was like, what? I don't. And my dad, he didn't like it, and we never agree. And this what created conflict. And this was one of the things that we can never bond. We never bond together as a son, as a father, because he believes so much in God and Jesus Christ. And I will ask him like who is it? Like where is he at? Like how can I talk to him? And he will you pray, and then prayers were not answered, and then like whoa, God works in mysterious ways. Like okay, this mystery BS I already got tired of that along the way when I was growing up, and I'm like that's just an excuse because you don't have an answer, or at least a story to tell me that this is real. So this is guys, it's not that I don't believe in God. I just don't believe the God that people tell me to believe in, you know. And that's my truth. And I will never tell you guys to believe in this or that. Uh, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that person. I don't do that. But other than that, what else? What other questions have I been in the comments? Oh, mention my beauty mark right here. Okay, I don't know what does that mean, but thank you though. And other than that, I don't know if you guys have questions. You could just send people probably. What's your favorite thing to do? Something, bye. So, some other comments that I've been having that I think it's good to bring it up. It's mm, 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 mm. I already talked God, about love, about children. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about our supervisors and managers. Yeah, let's talk about work, about jobs, right? We have, politicians. They promise us we're gonna have more jobs. Okay, that's good. But it can only be me. But how many of us like we have a job? We have plenty of jobs. We got to the point that why can't we create our own job, right? And this is when AI comes in. That's what I was missing. AI, artificial intelligence. People going crazy. People going like they're gonna replace us. Okay, first of all, if you're in a job that you dislike, if you're gonna be replaced by the AI, man, that's a blessing, isn't it? Huh? Hell yeah. You load the truck now, motherfucker. Huh? That's good. Yeah. So now we have time for our garden. So when I mentioned the garden, it's not that I want to go biblical, right? It's just another book, the Bible, but it just like I can just mention about the garden because it's something that you're doing on your own for yourself, right? And if there's some business on a daily life, we should think of the major three needs that we need as a human being. What is it? Shelter, food, and clothing, right? Yeah, that's right. Shelter, food, and clothing. Okay, you can go to all the brands you want, all the restaurants, and all the realtors and mortgages and buildings and apartments, right? And all the three things that I mentioned, they're always going up, right? So this is how we know the secret government or whoever is running the government knows that they pull the string all the way every year, every season, right? So food gets expensive, and clothes gets expensive too, and shelter don't even get me started on that, right? So I think that we don't need more jobs, okay? Because at the end of the day, you need more jobs, but that means that like the people who are already established as rich or wealthy, they're just gonna become more rich and wealthy. So the thing, what can you do for the people middle class or people who are poor class? Okay, why is it that okay, this is gonna be the last topic and we're gonna end like this, right? I mentioned one of my videos that America or the world, I don't care, the world doesn't have a food problem, a hunger problem, you know, feed the hungry and all that. No, 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 no. We have a shelter problem. I don't care how many home shelters you have, it's just bogus. You know, there's just too many people in it and you don't have no privacy. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I like that. You're the best. I love that. I like that. Okay, here's the thing. If you have no privacy, you have no home. Eh, you're right, Alex. If you have no privacy, you have no home. That's not shelter. Huh? They want to disguise this home, shelters, and all this when there's like 400 guys in a floor where you only can occupy like 55, 65, you have 400. Huh? That's not shelter. That's a lie. Whenever you have to compromise your intimacy, your privacy, that's not shelter. That's homelessness. You're homeless. You don't have a home. Okay? And that's the problem we have. We don't have problems that we need more jobs. No, no, we need homes, affordable homes, mhm, not apartments. We don't need apartments. Apartments, there's no privacy in there. You guys know it. I live in apartments and projects before. You ain't gotta tell me there's privacy in that. Hell no, I can hear everything you're saying right now. Matter of fact, very disturbing actually. There's no privacy. Mhm. Unless you're into that kind of lifestyle, hookups and stuff like that. But then okay, go to apartments, right? Meet new people every time. But if not, if you're looking for a home, looking to raise a family, even if you don't have a family, you're planning to have a family, you want to get a home, okay? You want your privacy. Privacy doesn't mean you're hidden, you're hiding from something. No. Privacy means that I want to be naked in my room. I can't be naked in my home without looking at me, without knowing that somebody's looking at me. Okay? Somebody's sneaking on me. That's why apartments and all that, that's businesses. That's not shelters. Oh, we created homes for people. No. That's you're disguising your richness in some vocabulary that people don't know. Actually, the definition of it. We need homes. Okay? We need a home. And we need to know how not how many bathrooms there are in it, but how many feet am I away from the other house? I'm gonna end it right there. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. God bless you guys and see you next time.